recording. All right, I am gonna shoot this in one shot, but I'm gonna cut it up like I said. So if I break into song and dance, I'll probably cut that out.
All right.
All right. Welcome to the. And I do that once in a while. Welcome to the Monday Brain Dump. Today, I'm lucky enough to be able to shoot this with a partner. This is Brad Wolfson. He's the owner of Soulcraft in Hamden. A lot of you guys know Brad already. And today I'm showing sweeps against a standing opponent from the guard. I'm going to start simple with some of our very basic stuff. And I'm going to work, this is actually going to be a 2-week unit. So I'm going to do some this week and some next week. And it's all going to be about this, sweeping a standing opponent. We have basics, and then we have some of the like blue to purple sweeps, which are supposedly more intermediate. All of these are simple moves that all you guys can do, and they come straight from the Pager Sauer curriculum. So let's jump right in with our first sweep against a standing opponent. And that's going to be, so you're going to sit first, kneel first, and then get up, and you'll have my, actually, you'll have my lapels in your hands here. It's the way that he does it.
Good.
Yeah, take one step back. One step forward. See, I told you. Okay. The first sweep that we learn against an opponent who stands up against us is actually, if you have to both my lapels, one in each hand. This is just the way it shows this up. I'm just going to show it the same way here. One of the first sweeps that we learn against a standing opponent, against the opponent that first stands up in our guard, is the double ankle sweep. So when Brad stands up, I'm going to hold on to his Achilles tendons right here, open my legs, drop my butt to the floor, and with weight on my legs, which kind of pushes him away, and with my knees together as a battering ram, and I'll show you that angle too, I extend upwards, and I make Brad fall over. Now the position that we land in, scoot toward me a tiny bit. The position we land in is one that's going to be a little bit awkward to get up from, and it's also one where I'm possibly exposed, as we know now, to leg locks and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to get up from this position. The first way that I learned to get up from this position, if we scoot this way a tiny bit, right here. First way that I learned to get up from this position after knocking somebody over was to get up to my hand. So if you picture a square on the ground around us, I'm sort of at the back left corner here. With my hand, I make sure to get my knee to the floor, and now my hand hops to the front left corner. I'm gonna hold Brad's head, and then I'm also gonna use this hook back here to hold onto his leg to pull myself the rest of the way to a standard mount. So the whole thing would look like this here. Brad stands in my guard. I get the Achilles, open my legs, put my knees together for a battering ram, and I'm gonna extend away. He falls, I'm gonna put my hand down, knee down, grab his head, it's just out frame, but grab his head here, and then pull myself into a full mount. So one thing I wanna say about grabbing the person's ankles, just to make this a move that'll really work for you. If Brad wants to stand up where I can't reach his ankles, so actually, yeah, one more time from your knees. So stand up so I can't grab your feet. If Brad wants to stand up so I can't reach his feet, he can do that. He can step backwards, right? So yeah, one more time. Like with some weight on me, he can just like tripod, so I literally can't reach him. So if Brad wants to stand up, yeah, with his ankles out of reach, this would be a real problem for me. And honestly, more people stand up kind of this way than giving me their feet. I think most of us who do jiu-jitsu a little bit know that would be a mistake. But one thing that we can do as the bottom guy is when he's on his knees and he goes to stand up, is I can be using my core muscles so that the only way he can stand up is to put his foot near me. So there is no stepping back over there.
I have to be close.
Yeah, when I pull with my heels, either with my knees to my chest, or if I bite with my heels and I pull his hips, like the bulk of his hips toward me, it's gonna be very hard to stand up with his ankles out of reach. So that's how we do ourselves a favor when we're on the bottom here, just to put his ankles in reach. So one more time, he gets up. I'm sort of pulling and making it hard. He has to put his foot near me, right into my hands, right into my evil clutches. Knees together. I'm gonna knock him over here. And then toward me a tiny bit, so you can see the whole get up. And from here, I'm gonna go to my hand, I go all the way around the world. My knee goes to the ground, I go to the front left corner, I grab his head, pull myself into a standard mount. That's one good way to get up. Back in my guap. The other option we have to get up when we knock our person over with a double ankle sweep is this here. This takes care of the fear of leaving your feet in sort of their clutches, right? So he stands near me. If I'm gonna use my knees as a battering ram and knock him over, there's gonna be a point of no return. This is an important point to understand in every sweep, because sometimes when we reach the point of no return, there's something for us to do. That's gonna be true for a few of these sweeps. And in this sweep, it's gonna be this. When I reach the point of no return, he's falling, I'm gonna retract my legs back out. Take them right back out. So I'll be pushing him until I take my legs back out, and I'm only gonna take them back out when he's already falling. So one more time. I kind of pull Brad so he's got to step near me. I use the battering ram, and then I pull my feet back out. I put them inside, and those of you that know some leg lock stuff know that my feet being inside of his legs is a way safer place for my legs to be. So it's another option when you take the person down, just to get your legs out of there. If you do this, if you retract your legs and they fall backwards, I would recommend folding them not only to your feet on the floor, but laying one down so that you can get up across it. We do this motion in warm-ups where we get up like this. And that's what I would do. I would knock the person over and retract one leg so that you can get up over that knee. And that's another good way to get up. This time you'll be inside their guard instead of pulling yourself all the way to mount, but it's possibly safer for your feet against a knowledgeable opponent. Okay. Oh. One more of the same one. The last variation on the double ankle sweep that I'll show you guys also addresses the possible fear of leaving your feet in their evil clutches. And this is probably the safest of all of them in terms of not letting them catch your foot under their armpit. And it's this one here. I'm pulling Brad toward me so he stands up close. Okay. And now, instead of this shaped battering ram where I have my knees against his belly, I'm gonna open my legs wide and I'm gonna push his shins. It still knocks him over, but now my feet are kind of nowhere near his armpits, right? And it's a safer possibly way to do that. I would get up the same way. I would roll up, over one leg and get up, and you'd be in the guard here. But by pushing his shins when I hold his heel, still knocks him over, but it does not leave my feet in his armpits. Okay. If you have any observations, let me know too. Knee, ankle, hip. Yeah. Okay. We have another sweep called hook sweep from guard. Pedro Sauer calls it hook sweep from guard, and that I know more affectionately as knee, ankle, hip. I feel like knee, ankle, hip is a good description of what we do when we hit this sweep, and it's going to be this here. When Brad stands up. Yeah. When Brad stands up, I'm going to leave my butt on the ground, and I'm going to put either my feet on his hips, or I'm going to bring my knee across the belly and extend him away. A lot of times what happens is, actually, let's see that one more time. When Brad stands up, I'm going to turn my legs so that my knee's in his belly. I'm going to hold on to one ankle, and I'm going to extend away. A lot of times, your opponent's going to get the idea to hold this pant leg or push this leg down, and that's okay. When he does that, I'm going to just switch my foot to his hip, and this other leg goes behind his knee. With control over one leg at the top and at the bottom, which is a good way to think of this sweep. I control one leg completely at the top and bottom. I can move Brad around without this hook. I can move him around, but he'll always be able to step this foot here if he has to catch himself. If I hook that leg, I take that ability away, and when I push, he will have to fall. This is another sweep where, when I get up, my feet, it'd be better if they are between his knees, and I can get up here. Possibly right away to a pass, but definitely I want to be getting up right to my knees after I knock him over. So for the knee ankle hip sweep, when Brad stands, I'm gonna leave my hips on the floor. I'm gonna control one leg at the top and bottom. That's the hip and the ankle. And I can move Brad around, but I need this one to stop him from being able to catch himself. This isn't just nestled behind his knee. I actually create a good hook here, and I'm pulling while I push with the other one, while I pull with my hand. Now this will knock Brad over at a distance, and I can get up inside of his guard. I get up into a double under personally. But there is another way that you can take the person down. And it's better. When Pedro Sauer does this sweep from guard, he handles the actual takedown and his placement of his opponent on the ground differently than we've done so far. So the way that I just took down Brad left some distance between us. In a way that works to my advantage. I can get up to guard and fight my way under his legs, possibly for a double under. Pedro Sauer maintains much more of a connection, and he has his opponent land closer to him. So let's look at that. So when Brad stands up, same idea. I'm gonna go foot to the hip and my hand to his foot here. I'm gonna create this hook. But what Pedro Sauer does differently is he'll actually pull the person over him a little more, lift the hip, and pull the foot. So that Brad falls right here. Now my knee is right here, and I only need to get my foot out of the guard here. So we fell out of frame. But let's do that one more time. Let's see, yeah, you've got my lapels, and when you stand, I guess he does this. So when Pedro Sauer does the hook sweep from guard, or the knee ankle hip sweep, his opponent lands a little closer to him on the ground, and this is what it looks like. When Brad stands, I control the top and bottom of one leg, and I'll control one sleeve or his collar, and I'll pull him over me. I want his upper body over me. I'm gonna lift his hip with this foot now. This isn't just a push him over foot anymore. This is a pick him up foot. Pick him up enough that I can pull this foot into my armpit. So I pick him up, pull this into my armpit, and when Brad falls here, I'm still connected to his hip. It immediately puts my knee on the floor. And with a grip on his upper body, either on the collar or on the sleeve, I can pull myself up again to mount. Cool. Let's do one this way. Of that, and then move on. Okay so far?
Yeah, good.
All right, here's the knee ankle hip as Pedro Sauer does it. Go ahead.
Good.
Brad gets up. I control the ankle and the hip. I get this hook behind the knee, and I pull Brad over me, and I lift with this foot. This time I'm trying to lift his hip high enough to pull his foot into my armpit. So I lift Brad up, and I pull this over so that when I hit the ground, my knee immediately is on the ground. Now, this foot you'll notice is quote unquote in his guard a little bit, but my knee has passed his hip line, so it's gonna be easy to just take that out and pull myself up to a regular mount. Okay. Sickle sweep. What's a better way to do this? Yeah, same. Probably. All right, so if you're up here in my guard. The third sweep we're going to look at is the sickle sweep. And the sickle sweep is a good follow-up to the hook sweep. Sometimes you'll go for it on its own. I'm going to show one way that it connects to the hook sweep that we just did, the knee ankle hip sweep. So when Brad stands, I'm going to set up as if for the knee ankle hip sweep. I'm going to go to totally control one leg, create a hook here. Now sometimes a person gets a hold of my foot and stuffs it down. So let's say I don't have your hook, yep. And exactly with the C grip, he'll push it down. Okay, now I no longer control the top and bottom of that leg, but I'd like to reestablish that connection. So I use my other leg for that purpose. I put this foot on the hip instead. Now again, I control totally one side, and I just need to prevent him from being able to step back here. So I'm gonna turn on my side a little bit and just catch his leg with this here. And you have a lot of power here. It will not take much to knock your person over. In fact, you could really launch somebody because this is obviously a very strong set of muscles. So, you know, with your training partners, no need to go crazy kicking them over, but this is a very powerful sweep. So one more time, the sickle sweep off the knee ankle hip sweep is gonna be here. I start as if for the knee ankle hip sweep, but he stuffs my foot. When he stuffs my foot, I lose one of my assets, which was control over this leg at the bottom and top. So I want to reestablish that. I use the other foot for that, and I put that on top. And this foot that he's pushing down, I just redirect it a little bit so that it's now behind his leg here. That's the place where I catch his foot so he can't step back. And then he falls, and again, I usually most often get up into a place of safety, which is both my arms underneath his legs, so I don't get armbarred or triangled for my trouble getting into his guard. Okay?
Armbar for your troubles.
Armbar for my trouble. Try not to peanut butter you too much.
Yeah, appreciate that. I'm allergic.
Are you? Man, I'm your nemesis here.
I
Okay.
don't smell it, so you're fine.
Good.
Smell great.
Thank you. It's swagger. Are we still recording? We're still recording and everything. Okay, that's great. Anyway, so handstand sweep. Around the world. Oh no, that's just in the wrong place. So handstand sweep. Let's do that from here too. This will be, oh. Okay.
Same?
Yeah, let's do one real quick first. I'll just think through, think aloud with you.
Am I still getting up with the
Yeah, with the
grips
two.
that I would never get up with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the ones. All right, so Peter Sauer comes underneath here. He does the handstand, and he knocks the guy over here. He tries to catch this on the way down, so sit forward, and actually like sort of hip bump the guy.
Okay.
Sorry on my leg. So that's, I don't know how he does it, because I can't do it. But I think I can't do it because no one holds my lapels when they do this.
Yeah,
But-
I don't do that.
Yeah.
Not like that. I mean, I do, but I don't do it like that.
Well, people used to do it because the double ankle sweep defense is to hold both collars and
Right,
get up.
right. And I think people used to just get up with bad posture anyway.
Also true. So let me try that one more time the Pedro Sauer way. I gotta catch your arm soon.
Catch my arm, baby. Ah, huevo.
Underhooks. Yeah. He handstands, and when he starts knocking the guy over, he catches this, and he gets up here, keeping a grip on this thing. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to take a look at the handstand sweep. The handstand sweep it's a cool sweep because I never have to open my guard in order to hit the sweep. And so a person can stand in my closed guard, I can remain closed, and still knock them over. And let's take a look at what that looks like. So Brad's in my guard, I've got a closed guard. He's holding my lapels, possibly for pre-defense against the handstand sweep. And when he stands, I'm gonna underhook one leg. So underhook with my hand, go right inside, bring yourself close. And the other hand, I'm gonna turn over, and I'm gonna actually do what looks like sort of a handstand. I thought this maybe looked acrobatic first time I saw it. It's actually just for a little more height. I could probably just push against his inner thigh with my hip and knock him over, but I will get more height when I use my hand, so it is a worthwhile thing to do. Now, Pedro Sauer, when he knocks over his opponent, he catches the sleeve when he gets to that point of no return. So like I said earlier, sometimes the point of no return, there's something for us to do. And this is that. Handstand sweep is, I'm trying to open his knee up backwards, and while I'm holding his ankle, he'll fall. I'm gonna catch the sleeve as we fall and use it to get myself up, and then I sort of, looks almost like a hip bump sweep to turn him a little bit, like 90 degrees.
Yep.
So one more time. One more time on the handstand sweep. Brad stands. I underhook and bring myself close on one side. I use my hand on the mat to help get a little more height for my hips, and I push him over, catch his sleeve as we fall, and use that to pull myself on top. And that's the handstand sweep as Pedro Sauer teaches it. Fucking star sweep. Let me try this star sweep. It's been since last time I taught it that I did it. But I don't use it. All right. Starts the same.
Need a grip.
He doesn't do it with a grip.
Really?
I like it way better. I always point out that
Yeah,
you need
because
it.
now you got my posture broken.
Right. Yeah.
Although I
But it
guess
doesn't
with this
matter
one,
for
it's
posture.
when I come up that you go, right? Yeah, that's the timing.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So
Solid.
in a way, you don't need it, but in a
Solid
way.
like pull, so you pull back and then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Salo talks about creating a
Yeah, like the momentum.
little kazushi. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll try and talk through it, and if I have to do it more than once, we'll just bang it out.
Right?
So yeah, let's try again. Ookie.
Worst job in baseball being the Oogie. No.
Okay, let's take a look at the star sweep. Star sweep is one of the fancier looking sweeps against a standing opponent, but it's really kind of just a single leg. It's just that I have to do a back shoulder roll to get there. So when Brad goes to stand up, he's got my lapels, he stands up. I'm gonna underhook his leg. And in this case, you can even use your hand like we did in the handstand sweep, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna kick this leg all the way in a big circle. I'm gonna look over my shoulder, look over my left shoulder, and that's the side I'm gonna roll over. So it's just a shoulder roll. When I land here, my lower arm, my forearm is behind his heel, and I use my upper body to pick up this leg. The way that Pedro Sauer follows through is he picks it up, switches arms, and comes into a side mount here. Brad and I were talking, and he mentioned that the way that Salo teaches it, he pulls the guy so that the guy postures harder. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I think I saw a video of him teaching that years ago, like that, where he kind of creates the momentum.
Yeah.
For the
So
sweep.
if Brad stands up, I'm going to underhook the leg the same way, and I personally prefer the star sweep with a grip too. So I'm going to hand off his sleeve to my other hand, and if I can get this sleeve, I got his posture now broken. Yeah.
And then when I pull.
And when he pulls.
Yeah. And then I'm already falling over because you got the grip. You barely even need the leg.
Yeah, because of this grip, which I still have, there was no way for him to prevent himself from being rolled over backwards. So you can do this with and without the grip. I prefer it when you can get the grip. But just so you know, if the person is good standing at defending that sleeve, you actually still can hit it. So I'll do it one more time without the sleeve grip. That stands up, reach underneath. My leg goes in a circle. I look where I'm going, and I do a shoulder roll. I pick up his leg, switch grips, so I switch to the other leg, and then collect my side mount from there. Okay. Leg pinching sweep. So if you're standing my guard, so if we start closed guard, they all start from closed guard, right? That's his. And you stand. I'm gonna slide down and recross my legs.
Okay.
Right? Pull you forward, so you have to catch yourself. Yeah, I mean.
Like,
So you have to catch yourself on your
okay,
hands.
You're gonna do a Tomagi kind of thing.
No, I've got you here, and you catch yourself with your hands. Yeah, I can also control like your armpits. He does, and then I grab around the thighs, and I can roll one way or the other to here, and then he goes 1, 2, climbs his way up. Let's try that one more time. You stand, catch your legs, I bring you forward, grab around the legs, get on top, 1, 2, climb. That's like very Rob Mega, that last thing. You ever mount you by mounting your legs and then creep up your body like
I think so.
like the worm Beetlejuice? It's creepy. It's creepy. He like devours you and climbs up your body. It's creepy.
Never had him devour me, thankfully.
You never got devoured by Rob Mega. All right, you wanna do it?
Sure.
Sure.
This is my smoggy home, so
Not a problem.
Only good for your folks. Thank you.
Oh wait, sorry. Another sweep that shows up against a standing opponent, shows up in our Pedro Sauer blue to purple curriculum, is the leg pinching sweep. And this sweep works this way. When Brad stands up, I'm gonna keep the crease in my knee, go ahead, in contact with his legs. So I don't open my legs, I just slide down, still connected, and then I'm gonna cross my feet here, and I use my abs to pull him forward and catch himself on the ground. Once he's caught himself on the ground, I hug his legs, and I'm gonna roll to get on top. If I can keep a grip on his legs, this is sort of ideal. If I can keep a grip on his legs here, That's ideal. When I hit the ground here though, it's not always gonna be an easy slog to get to mount. So my head will be on one side. When I reach for the armpit material and climb my way up, it's definitely possible that your person's gonna give you resistance with hands on your shoulders or head. But if you switch sides with your head, it's gonna be hard for them to keep a bead on just how to keep you away. If you stay square and they can push with two hands, you know, that's one thing. But if you're switching sides, it's gonna be another move. Two more time. Let's do it this way, actually. Over here too.
Good.
Yeah. So once again, the leg pinching sweep. Brad stands up. I cross my legs behind his knees, and I'm pulling him forward. I can use my hands in his armpits if it helps launch him up. I'm gonna hug around his legs. You can roll either direction. I lost my hooks here as I got up. Okay, so then as I climb the body, he may put his hands on my head or shoulders, but if I switch sides, it's very hard to keep control over me. And I'm going climb my way all the way up to a regular standard mount. Now, one thing that can happen when you're doing this move that I've noticed that has happened to us in class is that you might get someone who, you know, you've got their legs and their hands are on the ground and you can't quite roll them either direction because they have just very good base on their hands. If that happens, don't forget, their back is essentially exposed. You can just roll yourself out from under them and take their back. Let me just see if I can show you what that looks like.
Where do you want me?
Yeah, right here. Right, same thing, mount, guard. So when Brad stands up and I catch his legs and he puts his hands on the back here and I catch the legs, it could be that Brad's got such good base with his hands that I can't roll right and I can't roll left. If that's the case, it's okay to pop out the back door. If he's gonna be very committed with his hands where your elbows on the mat.
For sure, yeah.
Elbows?
Elbows.
Yeah, let's do hands,
yeah.
let's do hands. Yeah, put your hands super wide. That'll be like the Steve Penter, that's what Steve Penter was doing in class. All right. So if Brad catches himself on his hands here when I do this leg pinching sweep, right? Like cross my feet, I send Brad north, I wrap the legs, and his base is so good in both directions that I can't really roll him. Well, his hands are so committed up here that it's okay for me to throw my legs and move myself out the back door and get up and come and take the back. If he's gonna be so committed to not getting knocked over, well, it's the same thing as having a sort of an open, bad turtle. I'm just gonna get out from behind him and wrap around, take the back. So don't worry if you can't roll the person, you can still take their back when you get up. All right. We're on the last one, ready?
Good.
Kick over, balloon sweep, tomo nagi. Thank you for Ukian. This is here my guard. I mean, you know it. Only question is, how do we stay in frame?
Yeah, I don't know how you're gonna.
I think this will be good.
Maybe in and on an angle.
Well, it's not gonna be, it'll be a tight one. I'm gonna actually hold your head and just do a back somersault. So, okay. Okay. So when you stand right, I'm gonna drop my feet to here, and you can even hug your person's head. I'm gonna go with you though. Is that the way you wanna go? I think that makes more sense. The walls would be the way the other way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna, yeah.
That was good. Okay, so I'll do a left shoulder roll. Let me do one more.
I mean, I don't care. If you want to go to the other side, just tell me and I'll turn my head.
No, it's good. That was good.
Yep.
Okay. Roll up the sleeves. And here. This one. Follow right up to the mount. Is that right? That's like a mini one. That's like not a big giant circle.
Yeah.
And we landed in frame, so that's
Cool. All right.
All right. Do the hefe. Yes, sir.
Listo.
Un poco más. Okay. All right. Enter dragon. The last sweep against a standing opponent that we're going to look at is the overhead sweep or balloon sweep, or it's sort of a tomonagi, where Brad's got his grips on my collars, and when he stands up, I'm going to grip his sleeves, and I'm going to put my feet on his hips. My hips never came off the ground. I just dropped my feet. From this position here, it's not about pushing with my feet. I actually want to pull him so he's over me and then lift with my feet. He's going to go over one of my shoulders, and if I stay connected and just do a shoulder roll, I should end up on top like I just did. I'm doing this 2 weeks because these are some I use. The ones next week I use more. Like I'm going to talk about caterpillar stuff next week. Okay, so once more, that kick over sweep. Brad's going to stand up. I'm not even going to follow with my hips. My feet are just going to drop. I'm controlling his sleeves here. My feet are in the hips. And now it's not about pushing with my feet. I just want to get his center of gravity over me and then lift with my feet. He's going to do a shoulder roll. My feet are still connected to his hips. And I basically roll up right here to a standard mount. And that's the kick over sweep. Okay, here. Come on back to me. I had a big mistake recently. Saw like a video.
So good.
Yeah, it worked. All right. Oh, you want to sit with me?
I don't know. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, sit Indian style with me, or what do they call this? Applesauce, or whatever's comfortable. Okay. Just so there's not a giant leg in the foreground.
All right. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
High production values over here.
I know, especially with the iPhone. I got to live up to the nasty videos things we create. Okay, guys, those are some of our basic takedowns. Okay, guys, those are some of our basic sweeps against a standing opponent. When somebody stands up in our guard, those are ways for us to sweep them over. Again, this is going to be a 2-week unit. Next week, I'm going to talk about De La Riva sweeps, and I'm going to talk about caterpillar guard. It's the guard that I use the most, sort of a modified reverse De La Riva. So stay tuned. But these videos are here forever for you to review. So check them out anytime. Thanks for attending the Monday Brain Dump. These are the moves I'll be doing in the morning workouts, in the workouts of the day, which are 10-minute workouts with some upper body, lower body, core and cardio, and a jiu-jitsu move. This week we'll do moves from this series. And these are the moves that we'll cover in live class as well this week. So I look forward to seeing you there. Thanks for being here, Brad.
Thanks for having me, Greg.
Yeah, really nice to have another body, and I know it's helpful for everybody to see. So,
yeah.
And there could be no better.
My pleasure.
Thank you, sir. All right, guys, we'll see you on the mat. Take care. Cool.
And cut.
And cut.